I think generally with the cold open, it is kind of along the lines of what you said, as in like it would be just like something completely random that wouldn't exactly fit in with what we're talking about, but it's just kind of us talking. It's
Okay.
reminiscent of like Chuckle Sandwich in a way. How that's like how
Okay.
their opens
So
go. It's just
you recording now? I got an idea.
yeah, go ahead.
All right. So you more of a leg Zygarde or a legless Zygarde man?
Welcome to MallTalk.
On an unironic note, which one do you prefer, leg or no leg?
Leg? Which leg?
Either one. Just say your favorite form.
100%.
I'm not shocked. I agree.
I like.
Although I do like dog.
He looks like a transformer, which is why I like it.
Yeah. I do like Doggo because he just seems like a good boy.
Yeah, the dog, he's just kind of funny.
I do like how what is it, 60%? I like how he's just bigger, 1%.
That's
I
50.
like that. Oh, that's 50?
Yeah.
I guess we could, Game Freak realistically could make, okay, so we have all of these, we could do 60, 70, 80, and 90%.
That's true.
It could fill up a whole Pokedex with just percentages of Zygarde.
Only 100.
Yeah, but
That's it. I can't believe that's all they would do. Welcome to the MallTalk podcast.
Welcome.
I'm Flamit Games. I host this podcast, and I'm with my co-host, my best friend, Hunter. That's Hunter right there.
Look at that. Look at that. You can't see it, but we're touching hands right now.
Yeah, we're touching hands. I'm pretty sure in OBS this is reflected, so we are just putting our hands the other way.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Which direction? You gotta let me know.
Just both.
Oh, both?
Just both. Okay, so I think that's a good start.
Yeah, that's a good start. So this week we saw the announcement of the brand new Pokemon game, Pokemon ZA, Legend ZA.
As you can see, you can see it.
What was?
That was it. I made a little nod that only we will understand.
Yeah, we might talk about them in another episode, which is why you should continue watching this and watch all of our other episodes if there are more. So go watch those.
Currently, there's only one other, but
we actually just published that today.
We did just publish that today, which is, I think it's going to be pretty cool. My parents are going to watch it this afternoon. I mean, it is the afternoon, so they might have watched it, I guess.
Oh. They're gonna. Oh, your parents are gonna watch.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like I made that. I made that very clear.
You did make that very clear. You did make that very clear. I just forgot about that. Like in editing, I remembered that, but I published just knowing that I was published today. I was just like, I think it's really good, and then I was like, oh right, Hunter's parents are watching this. Not even anything against your parents. It's just kind of like, oh. I'm showing this off to like my friend's parents. This isn't just for my friends anymore.
Well, I hope it's not just for our friends, because then that would mean we made it big. So first off, since we have a can this time, I have some advice. So if you have a stapler, this one's empty. Don't play with it and do this. That hurts a lot.
Hunter! Hunter! That's a joke. You're joking. You're joking, right?
No, the holes are still kind of there. Yeah.
Oh my god, Hunter.
I wasn't thinking, and then I was like, oh, that kind of hurt. What? I was holding a stapler. Huh.
I guess you were. I completely... Yeah, we should just get right into it.
Yeah,
Boom.
so
This is our presentation. Pokemon
I think
Legends ZA. You know who's on the left? Who's on the left, Hunter?
who's on the left? That's Calum.
And who's on the right?
Serena.
Who's in the middle?
Oh, that's Bill.
Yeah, that's Bill. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Can we get a round
I
of
guess
applause for Bill real quick? Just that was for Bill.
That's for Bill.
That's
All for you, man.
You want to just get right into it?
I think beforehand, I have two quick things. One is more of a statement. I'm gonna be honest. I'm legitimately the most shocked part about this with me is that we're getting another Legends title, as I honestly thought Legends was gonna go the way of the Let's Go and just be a one and done.
Yeah.
So, on a different note, we know some. Actually, I'll save this for later because there's a funny slide to go with it.
There are a couple funny slides in this presentation we made. So do you want to just get right into it?
I think we just get right in. I mean, Calum and Serena look pretty happy and excited. So
They do look pretty excited. Where did you take these renders from? Actually, was this from Masters?
Yeah, it's from Masters, and then I just kind of cropped them out. As you can see under Serena's arm, there's like all that white.
You see the background.
So,
all right, let's just get straight into it with next slide.
So, one of the main concerns I hear, and I say that when I really only seen like 5 people concerned, is the fact that this is going to take complete place in Lumiose, not Kalos, just Lumiose City. And I'm being realistic. We're not getting like a Spider-Man 2 Arkham level game, but just on the perspective of these are games that took place entirely in a city and worked very well and are very popular. So just to put it, it's not going to be like a traditional Pokemon city, which I probably should have put up, which is just like 2 buildings and a walkway.
Yeah. I think another important thing to point out is actually, I feel like something we should have put on here, because prior to recording, we were just like, should we put any last minute things? And something we forgot is probably to put the tweet where they said everything's going to take place in Lumiose City, but we know that already.
Yeah, we should have put the tweet for that, but if you want to check for yourself, I believe it's Nintendo's official American Twitter.
Nintendo of America. Pretty much every Nintendo account already posted that.
When they announced it, so that's fair.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, you don't even need the announcement. I feel like the trailer or teaser, it's not really a trailer, I'd argue.
Because that is not gameplay.
Very clear that it was just going to be in Lumiose.
Yeah.
Alright, so take us on.
Let's go.
So, I want to leave this off. I completely understand. This is just word vomit. This is just to advertise the game.
This is PR speak.
It's PR. But I did check back, and at least from Legends onward, they have not claimed the game to be ambitious. If I had to guess what ambitious means, I think it just means this is the first Pokemon game taking place in a city and not a bunch of grass. Which I just want to put in here real quick. You can agree or disagree. I think the best part graphically of Scarlet and Violet, besides the Pokemon and characters, terrain-wise, was the buildings. So them taking out their weak point of not being able to make a grass look like grass is probably the best choice.
I guess I kind of agree with that. And something I do actually want to point out here is something I was going to put on a slide, but I was just I could just mention it, so I'm going to mention it now. Is you can see it says announcing a ambitious new entry to the Pokemon video game series. And I know that this is the only website that said it. However, in the original Pokemon Legends Arceus announcement in the Pokemon Presents, they did say this is an ambitious new entry to the Pokemon game series, which I guess it feels more impactful seeing it here because we're not just hearing it in the first part, which granted it only is the first announcement for it.
Yeah, it is the third. It's just an announcement that it exists. Which actually, wait, let me check the slide order on my phone because I want to see if I can lead into this conversation wise or not. Okay, perfect. So actually, on that, there's something at the bottom of that announcement that is on the next slide. That's good for comparing to Legends Arceus. You should stop drinking the milk water.
I'm thirsty. It just tastes like milk.
So, I think it's not just releasing in the beginning of the year. So, the release window, in my opinion, it's coming out in November of next year. Because Legends Arceus, in its first announcement, admittedly, its first announcement also had gameplay to go with it, made it very clear it was releasing in early 2022. While this is just saying in 2025. So, if I had to guess, it's going to be November. So, one, they have more time to work on it because I've stood by this for a while. Nintendo's probably not happy they refunded some of Scarlet and Violet. And two, it's that sweet, sweet Christmas money.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think that's why they always release it in November. It's right before Christmas. It gets it in the kid's head, and then the parents can just go to the store and grab it. So if it's not coming out in the beginning of the year, it's going to come out in November. And the only reason I think Arceus came out in the beginning of the year is because they probably just weren't confident that this would sell.
Yeah.
And it sold really well, especially for being a January game.
Yeah, that's something that shocked me. Is like, I actually, when making this presentation, I saw this slide and I went back to look at the sales, and I didn't even realize that like Legends actually, I didn't even remember it that Legends was released like January, which makes like the sales on it insane. It's like, especially since $60.
No, I mean, as in, like, how much, like, were the sales comparable to Scarlet and Violet, or?
I think it was a little bit more. I'm gonna check. I don't remember.
I think Scarlet and Violet's more, because I still think, even with Scarlet and Violet having its performance issues, it was the best selling.
I think that's another reason for that is, like, obviously, it's a mainline.
Well, this is a mainline, too. This is a mainline title.
I meant mainline in, like, main generation.
Yeah, okay, so just the main Gen 9 game.
Oh my god, okay, this did a lot worse than I thought it would. So Scarlet and Violet sold 23.23 million copies, but Legends Arceus only sold, wait, did I read that right? I did. 14.83 million.
That's still very good, actually.
It's really good, but I wasn't because I think another thing to keep in mind, that's below Let's Go.
Yeah, well, I think, in fairness, let's give it the few things that do hurt it. One, Let's Go gets an advantage for being the first Pokemon game on Switch and getting those Pokemon Go players.
I don't even think you even. I don't even. No, actually, you don't even remember Pokemon Quest. That went crazy. All I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I actually do remember that.
That was such a good game.
It's actually still going on in China, by the way.
It is.
Yeah. And then there's also Legends Arceus had a very short window to sell. Besides the fact it was in January, the worst performing month of the year because it was right after Christmas.
Yeah.
And that a bunch of kids, if you also look at it, a bunch of kids would have already gotten Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, so their parents might have been like, well, you already got the Pokemon game.
But there's a new one.
On top of that, it only had like under a month to an exact month. I think it was actually an exact month until Scarlet and Violet was announced. So I do think that probably made a lot of people decide I'd rather get the new mainline game than Legends, which I think in the end Legends is the better game, but I do think that probably also hurt sales.
I will say that Legends Arceus only sold like 200,000 copies more than BDSP.
Yeah, which I'd argue is still, I mean, it's still good. It sold really well, I think.
It's less of that and more like comparatively to BDSP.
Yeah. But I also think BDSP obviously would have sold well overall.
Yeah.
I mean, I know not everyone was a fan of it. I liked it because I never was able to play the original games, and I'm not paying for that. So,
yeah, that's fair.
I think they're overhated. I agree with the fact that it should have been more different from the originals, but I do think
for sure.
If you're taking into perspective of what they are, I think they do a respectable job at being what they are. Same way of, I don't really like Let's Go that much, but I think Let's Go did a very good job at what it was trying to do.
Yeah, for sure.
So, let's see. What's the next slide?
I forgot about this. I forgot about
Yeah, you didn't move. Okay,
Megas!
that's okay. Megas!
We got Megas in the game, finally!
They're back. I hope they stay back, but...
Do you want to lead this into the, new Megas?
I actually...
Or do you want to talk about that later?
I actually had a question. This was a question I was going to ask, but I thought you moved this to the end of the slides.
Oh, no, I think we have two. No, that should.
Oh, we just have two now.
Nope, that was
okay. So
this is spoiler. My bad.
My question is, you get to choose 3 Pokemon to either get new Megas or a rework of a Mega. So maybe you really want Charizard Z, which, let's be honest, is happening.
Yeah.
So you can choose 3 Pokemon. I'm going to try to limit myself to the Kalos Dex with my choices, but you can do whatever you want.
I'd actually appreciate it if you go first, because I think that's a good question, but I also want to try limiting myself to the... Do you mean like giving them a brand new Mega Evolution, as in they haven't had a Mega Evolution before, or reworking a Mega?
Both. So that's kind of... You can do whatever you want. You can either do 3 where it's... and I would, if I were you, I'd prefer not to do the starters, because like Chestnut and Delphox and Greninja, they're obviously getting Megas, I feel like. But like, you could do that, or you could be like, Charizard should get a new form reworked, or you could be
That's a good joke. That's funny.
Diggersby should get a Mega. So
nobody is thinking that. Nobody at all.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying those are my examples.
Yeah.
So I think first one I'm gonna choose is Talonflame. I feel like Talonflame kind of needs it. Like Pidgeot got its time to shine with its Mega. Corviknight got a Gigantamax. I think it's time Talonflame got a Mega. I feel like it was, from what I know, it was one of the best fire types or just Pokemon in that generation due to its ability. And it was one of Ash's main Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I just think it'd be really cool if Talonflame got one. Do you want to do back and forth, or do you want me to do 3 and then you do 3?
Let's do a back and forth, because I feel like you were gonna say this and I want to say it first. So I feel like it was inevitable that both of us were gonna say this. Aegislash. Aegislash is like one of the coolest Pokemon, one of the best concepts for a Pokemon, and I think just as a Mega, there are so many different directions you could go with it.
Yeah. Okay, so my next one is going to be something that's not in the original Dex, but its pre-evolution is, and since it just got an evolution, I'm going to count it. The Dunsparce. Because I think the Dunsparce is really funny, and I like him, but I know there are a lot of people that were very upset that the Dunsparce wasn't like a really cool dragon or something. So I think
it was never going to be. It was never going to be.
It was never going to be. I don't know why anyone.
It's going to be a long Dunsparce.
So, like a Mega Dunsparce that like makes him have those like big wings people want or something. I think that could be cool. So I guess you go.
Well, before I say my next Mega, I would like to say I was expecting for them to do a third Dunsparce evolution. It's like you have Dunsparce, you have cool Dunsparce, and then you have suspenseful Dunsparce of Dunsparce.
Alright, so what's your next one?
My next one if we're sticking within the Kalos decks,
And of course, you can expand it, assuming they get new evolutions in later generations.
Yeah, I am actually thinking. A friend and I was talking to a friend about this. A Mega Golem. Oh wait, no, Golem. No, fuck, not Golem.
Golurk?
Golurk. Like
You were talking to me about that.
big stone guy. No, I brought that up with you because I was talking to someone else about it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I pointed back here. They're not here.
Okay, I do think that'd be very cool because I think Golurk's already kind of like a Gundam kind of guy.
Yeah, just like steel type version. He's literally Evangelion head ass. Like,
honestly though, I think Golurk would have worked better as a Gigantamax, making him actually the size of like a Gundam or Evangelion thing. I know it's not said.
Say that. That's disrespectful. I haven't even watched it, and I know that's disrespectful.
Fine, Evangelion. Okay. I'm really debating because I have two choices for my last one. There's one that I want, and there's one that I think should be done. I'm gonna go for one I think.
Just go with both.
Okay, I'll do.
I mean,
both.
we get more time on the episode, so
let's just do it up to 4, so we can choose 4. Okay, so I'll do the one that I think should be done first. That's Go-Goat.
I feel like, yeah, that's a good one.
Looking back at a lot of the old advertisements and stuff, I feel like Go-Goat was a huge part, and like really, I feel like it needed a mega. I feel like it was supposed to be a big deal, and it never got a mega. And I wouldn't mind a grass type mega in this that I could vibe with, because I think he's funny.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Unironically, though, I actually do think for a grass goat, it's a very good and cool design. I just think goats are funny.
I think Go-Goat has an incredible design. I wasn't a huge fan of Skidoo, but I think Go-Goat looks super fucking cool, and I think as a mega, it just would work so well.
So, okay, I'm thinking about this now. Do we want to do the main 3 or what we think should be done, and the 4 is just a personal pet thing? Like, I think you know what I'm going to choose, but I'll wait to say it.
Yeah, and I think you know what I'm going to choose, and I'll wait to say it. And yeah,
okay,
let's
so
just
you
do that.
You do your third, and then we'll do our pets.
Yeah. So, I think as a third one, that's actually, I don't think it's that hard of a choice. Because I was playing XY, or I guess I was playing Y today, just going back through the game. And I realized it is insane how this Pokemon doesn't have a Mega. It is Magnezone.
Ooh, that's...
I feel like
wait, I thought it did.
Magnezone, no.
You know what? You're probably right. You know, you're right. I really genuinely thought it did.
Yeah, no, that's why I was thinking, like, how does this Pokemon not have a Mega yet? It's like...
Huh.
It's insane how it doesn't have a Mega yet. I feel like there are so many directions you could go. You could make, like, the freaking Kalos power plant into a Pokemon or something. Which is more just like a thing that would be like, that's kind of funny.
Let's see. All right, before we go on to our pets, I just want to do 3 honorable mentions in honor of the anime of Kangoro, because that's obviously Serena.
Yeah.
Luxray, because Clement. And who's a good... I'd prefer Noivern, but I think Goodra deserves one more, because like a lot of other pseudos got megas, and Goodra didn't. But I'd prefer Noivern. I'd do Noivern.
I would, this isn't my pet, but I am just going to mention this. I thought you were going to say Hawlucha.
Hawlucha is definitely a good one, but I also think I really would like a Mega Hawlucha. I think that could be cool.
Is that more of like a pet rather than like practicality?
I think it works practicality. I just think it's kind of weird that like the Gen 6 starters and the Gen 6 pseudos didn't get megas, but like the Gen 1 starters or like the Gen 3 starters in pseudo got a mega.
Yeah, I'm still listening. I'm just
this is a great segment.
I'm no longer looking for anything. Get up and find it.
How do you lose?
Talk about your pet first, and then I'll bring it up.
Okay. My pet is very obvious. I'm gonna do the one that I don't think would happen, and the one that's realistic, and they're related, so it's not like cheating in my opinion. Mega Pikachu.
Yeah.
If I'm being more realistic, it would be Mega Raichu if they stick to the old rules. And in that case, I think it'd be really cool if that's how we got Gorochu of Mega Raichu, because it was supposed to be a Raichu evolution.
Yeah.
So, I would prefer it to be Pikachu, though, because I'd rather have a Pikachu in my party than a Raichu.
I will say, maybe a Gorochu could be like a Kalosian form.
I think a Kalosian form of Raichu could also be cool.
Yeah.
I think, knowing Game Freak, though, I wouldn't be shocked if they changed the rules of Mega Pokemon just so we get Mega Pikachu and Eevee instead of their evolutions.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
Which I'd be down for. Alright, so what's your pet? I think I'm not, announce your pet. I know what it is.
You know what it is? You know what it is? Yeah, I'll just say it. And you know what? I don't think you're even guessing it. I want to have a Mega Sour Apple Lollipop.
You got me. I wasn't expecting that.
Okay, no, but in all seriousness, no, I want a rework of Mega Garchomp.
I agree.
Mega Garchomp looks so fucking lame.
Yeah, so that's kind of my same thought with Tyranitar, Mega Tyranitar.
It's like you just made him spiky.
I don't dislike Mega Garchomp and Mega Tyranitar. I do think they still look good.
Yeah.
They're worse than what they were before, and Mega should be an improvement, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, I think it's Ken Sugimori. I do believe he had an artist block, because I think I can tell which Pokemon were getting towards the point of his artist block. That's... So, I guess... So we got our Pokemon out. Mega's coming back is pretty hype. I think I want to
Forget about it.
I am expecting. What I do think will happen is we'll get new Megas for the Gen 6 starters, and they might end up being the gift or the secondary starters, kind of like in Gen 6 with Gen 1.
How like when you first got to Lumiose, you went to Professor Sycamore, you beat him in a battle, and you're just like, oh well. We got these imports from Kanto. You got to choose one.
I hope he says imports again. We got these imports from down the road.
Just down the road, We got simple Amazon shipping, Yeah. It's what we do here in France.
Alright, so I guess let's go on to the next slide.
Let's move on. Oh, okay. Wow, okay. So I feel like it would have been better to mention this during the slide.
I did kind of forget I made this slide. So this was just sort of these are brand new sprites that were made in Gen 9 that were data mined from Scarlet and Violet. So I think it's safe to assume that these Pokemon are going to return. Like, we always had the hint that Mega Charizard was going to return, but now maybe we'll finally get AZ's Floette, and honestly, I don't think we'll get Ash Greninja. I would love for Ash Greninja, but I think it's more likely he's saved for like a Gen 10 game or something, and this game we get Mega Greninja.
I'm not gonna lie, something I just noticed. I don't know, this is probably just me, and it's probably the fact that they made a new, like, model for it. But does that Mega Charizard X look different to you?
Yes, but that's also, if you look at Scarlet and Violet's model for Charizard, they also changed how Charizard looks. It's in small ways, but Charizard, in my opinion, I also think Charizard looks better now than it did before. Search up Scarlet and Violet Charizard real quick. You'll see that it is slightly different.
Doing it on my phone, because otherwise it's going to mess up the recording.
Oh, yeah.
Scarlet and Violet. No, not sales. Charizard. Oh, I like that a lot, actually. He looks angrier. It's not like his Gen 8 model, which is Gen 8 model I fucking hated.
Well, technically that's his Gen 6 model. His Gen 8 one is what I mean.
No, I meant this one.
Yeah, no, that one's really good, and he stands now instead of flying.
Yeah, and he looks way more badass.
No, I definitely think they reworked Charizard for the better, which is kind of like, man, I really hope that if for something later, whatever the fire starter is, I hope I don't want to choose it, because I'd be down to put Charizard on my team, because that model is cool.
Better have some new cool water types or grass types.
Well, no, I don't want a water type. I just want the grass one to be good, because I want to use Greninja too.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Any thoughts for you? Any last thoughts? Like, if you had any brain blast of a new Mega or something?
I will say, this isn't for Megas, but more so for Battle Bond. I didn't even know they had the sprite for Battle Bond in the game. From what I remember, it was originally planned to be in there, but they scrapped it for like some reason. And I thought the scrapping reason would be because of Legends EA.
So here's...
Or sorry, ZA. My bad.
I haven't like done too much research, so you could be right. But from what I know, that sprite's in the game, but there was never a model, and currently there's no official way to get Battle Bond Greninja in the game. And if you do transfer an old Battle Bond Greninja, it's just an ability. It doesn't change his form. On top of that, Nemona's house has a picture of Ash Greninja.
Yeah, that too.
I just thought about this today. What if it no longer represents Ash Greninja, and what if it now represents Mega Greninja? I think it's the problem is, I just don't know, will Battle Bond and Mega coexist? Because I'm 100% sure there's going to be a Mega Greninja. So it's like, will they let them coexist? Like, will they just make it an event-exclusive Greninja? Or will they just not make Mega Greninja and give you a Battle Bond Greninja for free, and the other two get Megas?
I will say that Greninja, from what they've described in the anime and just general like Pokemon media, is that Mega Evolution, or I guess Battle Bond, is a more natural form of Mega Evolution.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, well...
It's supposed to be literally your Battle Bond. And then Mega Evolution is like, you are my best friend. I will put you through immense pain so you can be my friend.
Yeah, well, I guess Greninja's doesn't do the pain then, since it's not a real Mega.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is that I don't think this is gonna happen. I feel like they might do Battle Bond like for Chespin and Fennekin, and like
I don't think
have
so.
it.
I mean, you continue your thing. I'll say my reasons. I'm sorry.
So what I was thinking is, like, for Delphox, it has some of Serena's features, and for Chestnut, yeah, such unremarkable Pokemon. He has some of Clement's features. Now that I say that, I think it would be really funny if Chestnut just had glasses.
I think realistically, Battle Bond is gonna say a Greninja exclusive thing, and we've had sprites before. I think like the old Gen 7 sprites for the Mega Stones and stuff were in Gen 8.
Okay, so that was because it was in Let's Go.
Yes, I'm not arguing. Of course, that's because it was in Let's Go. These are brand new models. So yeah. Ash Greninja is probably going to return. I just don't know how. I don't think all three starters are going to get Battle Bond, because I think they want to leave that to Ashken and Greninja and make it special. Okay,
I just thought of something. What if they make... You know how we had Alpha, like the totem... Not totem Pokemon. What are the totem Pokemon in Legends? What are those?
Alpha.
Yeah.
Alpha.
And the Alphas, and how we had each of them as an event. So I'm thinking, what if they have like natural battle? But actually, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so now I'm thinking about it. So in the anime, when we did go back to Kalos temporarily, I don't have any slides for this. I just thought of it. There's some sort of weird like arm thing going after Zygarde, and Greninja was still there to protect it. So maybe we get Mega Greninja as a starter choice, but maybe there's a special little event in the game or post-game that you can get Ash Greninja from, since Ash Greninja is protecting Zygarde. Or maybe like Ash Greninja's Maybe it's like confronting you, like, "Where's Zygarde, my man? I'm supposed to be with this guy."
Where's Zygarde? He's not in this universe, man. You're not in this episode. Get out of here.
Yeah, so that'll lead into something later, though, on why we can get Greninja. Alright, so
Okay.
you have anything else to say?
Mm.
Oh.
No.
Okay. So this is... either of us can explain it, but I'll just...
I feel like you
can
brought
see,
up this point better, so I'd say bring it up.
So I'll just splash everyone with the cold water. I think this game is in the future. I don't think it's going to be in the past. I think Legends is either just a title, or it relates to legendary Pokemon. I know Arceus is a mythical, but Japan doesn't have mythicals, I think. So, but if you can see, there's no water there. And I know that's an anime thing, so if you even look at the game thing, I don't think that's water. I don't think that's supposed to be a river.
I don't think it's supposed to be, but I just thought that was funny how you mentioned that, and then I immediately realized that does kind of look like water, and that kind of looks like a bridge.
It does, but I did look through gameplay of someone going
I'm looking through this. I don't see that.
I looked through gameplay of Munching Orange like 10 years ago, playing through Lumio City, and I didn't see any water. So I don't know if that's like coincidence or... You just played X and Y. Did you see any water in Lumios?
I did. That's later in the presentation.
Oh, I mean, like, river. Not that one.
What do you mean?
Like something that went through?
I mean, you didn't see it go completely through because obviously it's a 3DS game. But it seems to be implied that it goes all the way through.
Okay, so I will say this could end up being it is in the past, but I also think I didn't put it in the slides, so I should have. Legends Arceus, its first reveal trailer, was very inky and old-fashioned, very to the theming. While this one, I know everyone's like, oh, it's just a 3D representation of a blueprint, but they wouldn't, in my opinion, they wouldn't have done that if they weren't planning for it to be futuristic in a sense. They would have. They kept it in the time period with the previous advertisement. I think this makes sense that it would be a future game, just based off how they showed it off. Also, re-urbanization, it could mean nothing, but in my opinion, I would assume it means redoing what we saw in X and Y. But in the end, it doesn't really matter. We'll find out in the summer or something, whenever they show a trailer.
Yeah.
So, next page, which is also related to this, is...
Water!
As you can see with this new water compared to the old map, you can't really see it like this. It's just... Could it be just the limitations of the 3DS at the time? Yes. But it also looks so different. It leads me to believe that this is just a new thing for Pokemon to be more part of the landscape. What are your thoughts? Because I know you have might have differing opinions on where it's set.
So, I know originally when we saw this, I thought it would take place in the past. I do think it takes place in the future, but not as far in the future as we visualize the future to be. Like, I'm thinking like 2-3 years after XY.
That's kind of what I've been thinking. Whether this does take place in the past or the future, I think at most it'll be like 5 years.
Yeah. I think
so.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, I think we'll still be playing as Serena and Caleb, just new designs. Kind of like I don't think they're gonna pull the whole Rosa and
Hilda.
No, not
Boy.
I'm forgetting what Nate. His name's Nate.
Yeah, Nate, not Boy.
Where they replaced Hilda and Hilbert, which I just want to say Hilbert's such a grandpa name.
You know, grandpas were once children. I just want to remind you.
They were.
Also.
Yeah, go on. I don't really have anything.
I'd just like to make it clear. I literally just took this picture today.
Yeah.
And also, another thing that I wanted to mention is actually on the previous slide. Is you can see you have Centrico Plaza, Magenta, Rouge, John, Vert, Blue. And we see that here, this, and as you can see, the very end of it goes right here. The very end of it would be right here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that. I feel like that's really important to point out.
Do we have the map on the next page after this? I feel like we should.
We don't.
Okay, well, I guess let's move on. I don't think we have anything more.
I have a map later, so we can bring that up.
I know. I do know we have a map later, but looking back, I probably should have moved that slide up a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, codename. This is pretty irrelevant, but from what I've seen, the codename is Ikaku, and it apparently translates to stuff like intimidating and threat and menace. So I also don't think it means anything, because I think Scarred and Violet's codename was Titan, if I remember right.
Titan Pokemon.
I guess that makes sense. So maybe maybe they rename alphas.
Intimidating and threat Pokemon, menace Pokemon.
Maybe it's supposed to represent, it's kind of like alphas, but since they're mega evolved this time, which isn't confirmed, I'm just assuming
they're more of a threat.
Evolved. They're more of a threat. Which, speaking of which, was Zygarde linked to megas before?
I don't think so. The thing is, I don't think the legendary trio was ever linked to Mega Evolution.
Well, that's kind of my point of, I feel like we got so little on Zygarde, I think there's a lot of room for them to retcon it if it isn't already true, that Zygarde is related to megas. Which I think is very likely.
Wait, actually, he kind of is, but I'm talking about that later.
Okay, well, we can move on then.
Okay.
Unless you have anything you want to say, like about...
Oh, well, I think there's something here. Oh, shit, no, this is my slide. I forgot. Oh, fuck. So, okay, let's just read this out. A new adventure awaits within Lumio City, where an urban redevelopment plan is underway to shape the city into a place that belongs to both people and Pokemon. Please look forward to seeing it for yourself. And I just want to mention, I will admit, I saw this on like a theory video, so this is not something I said, but I also forgot who said it. But urban redevelopment seems to suggest, I don't stand by heavily damaged anymore, but I do think it was damaged in some sort of way, and will undergo like heavy like restructuring, and usually involves building with new intent. And I'm assuming that new intent is shape the city into a place that belongs to both people and Pokemon. And alongside that, the new intent I already said that. The new intent being referred to is likely to shape the city into a place that belongs to both people and Pokemon. And then something that I was like, wait, then what the hell happened to the city? If that's the case, what happened to the city?
I think there's equal possibility that it's like something happened, as it's just, I don't know, we like Pokemon, we should probably make the city more accommodating. But I think both are equally possible. Heck, there could even be a third option we're not thinking of. No,
it's definitely possible that we have a third option. The only reason I think it's interesting is that when we see like Lumio City in the anime, and when we see it in the game, in the anime we see it seems very accommodating to Pokemon in the anime, especially seeing like Clement's innovation of like, we have this charger for electric type Pokemon. That seems very accommodating to it, but in the games you don't see that much.
It's also in the promo art for the games. You can see a lot of things of like, oh, they're fletchling on the roofs and you're walking around on a go-go and stuff. So
that does just kind of feel like birds on a building, though.
Yeah, but still, my point is more like, it was definitely more accommodating. It's definitely a mix of limitations of the time with the 3DS and Game Freak.
Yeah.
So, I guess we didn't cover this earlier. Can you go back to the 2025 release slide real quick?
Mm-hmm.
To the right? Okay. I forgot to mention this. This is my favorite part of this announcement, is we're not getting a game this year. Game Freak is actually listening and taking their time. They are taking an extra year. Everything about this game is exactly what we've been begging for. More Legends, Zygarde, take a break, Megas. It's really...
Everything the like sane Pokemon fans are asking for.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything. I genuinely, not to like, okay, I will say there aren't any complaint. I don't think there are any valid complaints right now, overall, in my opinion. Just as there's no, I'm not saying this game's going to be good. I can't claim that. I'm just saying everything we know about it is exactly what we've been asking for. So this could be an awful game. But I don't think, I've seen a lot of people criticize the game already and be like, oh, this is going to be bad, this is going to be awful. And it's like, we haven't seen anything of it.
I feel like that still goes both ways, though. Of like us being like, this is going to be one of the best Pokemon games. I feel like it goes the same way, but I get what you're saying.
I think if anything, the most you can really be in this case is neutral with positive things of this is what we want, and if you're upset about it being entirely in Lumiose, you can be a bit negative on that. I think most of the people that are overall complaining, saying this is going to be bad of the same stuff from Game Freak, is overall just, we didn't get Gen 5 and people are upset.
Xerneas, the life Pokemon. Yveltal, the destruction Pokemon. Before I get to Zygarde, I'd just like to mention, Yveltal looks like a Y. How the fuck is this an X?
Oh, maybe if you're looking at it from like front on, it's kind of like really intimidating and like an X.
Yeah, but I don't get it, man. It makes
he also kind of turns into a cocoon, right?
True.
That's unrelated. I just wanted to mention he's an egg.
And Zygarde, the order Pokemon. So all I'm saying is what this kind of reminds me is like, okay, now that I say this, it doesn't really make sense because it's meant to be like yin, yang, and the balance of it. So I thought this would be Arceus, this would be Giratina, and then I was like, okay, then what the fuck is this? What the fuck is there? I guess it could be like Dialga, Palkia, Arceus. But what I'm thinking is like maybe it's like these two are in a battle, or one of them is overbearing to the other, and it's like, ah, fuck, they're out of order. Hey, kid, go fucking stop that.
Okay, so here's what I think. Now that I just had like a brain blast of, I'm very confident Zygarde is getting a new form. I'm very confident all three of these guys are getting a new form. Similar to how Legends had the main ones. I know this sounds out there, but what if they kind of fused all three into one? Like, because Zygarde's whole thing is it sells, so what if it's able to kind of like hug them and I don't know, maybe it becomes like a oh, actually this is really cool. I want to make an edit later. So it's like Zygarde's torso, like 100%'s torso, the legs of Xerneas, and the wings of Yveltal, and it's kind of like a really cool centaur.
The Avatar.
Okay, well, I mean, fair enough, but I think this is...
I don't know why. That's just kind of what it reminded me. It's like the Avatar state.
Like, okay, but do you agree that would be like a really cool, like a centaur fusion of them?
I think I saw fan art for that on Twitter.
Really? Ah, shoot, I was beaten to the punch.
As a concept, it's really cool. But I'm just curious as to how...
I guess it could be like life and death kind of combining through order. Okay, I guess, do you have anything else to say?
Or I guess another way you could look at it is like life and destruction put at a perfect balance.
Perfectly balanced as all things should be.
I will mention that a lot of this did kind of make me think of Avatar because it's just like, Arceus sent us back in time to stop Volo. And then I'm thinking like, well, just don't pay attention to the back in time. It's like Zygarde being like, hey kid, go. These two are fighting. Yveltal's being a little dickhead. Go stop him.
Oh, you know, that'd be cool. I doubt it's gonna happen. But you know how in Let's Go, like Pikachu and Eevee were always on you?
Mm-hmm.
What if we kind of have Squishy, like the 1% or 5% or whatever it's called, always on our shoulder or something?
Yeah.
Kind of like with Bonnie in the anime.
We have the 1% with us at all times.
That would be...
Gen Z is not gonna like that one. They do not fuck with the bourgeoisie.
You know, it'd be really cool. I know this isn't going to happen, but you know how we had synchronization in Scarlet and Violet?
I think
What
that's
if
gonna happen here.
I do agree because they did specifically mention, if you look at what it says, this is a prototype for synchronization.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to get more advanced
It's
in
probably
this game.
it's probably a literal prototype in the game for it to be like
Yeah,
implemented in this game.
because you can think whatever you want about Game Freak with their coding and release schedule and stuff, but you have to at least give them this. They put like a lot of small things in it that actually like mean something.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
the one thing, what?
No,
No, what did you say?
I was agreeing.
Yeah, like there's a lot of small little details.
Yeah.
But on that, I think it'd be really cool if the final battle. So you know the big battles with the not alphas. It was the what did like Arezu and the other ones have? What were those called?
That's what I was trying. That's what I was asking about before. I think.
Okay, what
Titans. I'm just gonna
maybe
look.
Titans.
Totem.
No, not Totem. That was Alola.
Pokemon Legends Arceus Totem Pokemon.
Yeah, it's not important.
According
So
to
you know how
Game
you'd have those
Totem
boss battles with
Pokemon
like
are also
Cleavor and Avalanche.
with increased height and weight, much like alpha. Unlike alphas, however, Pokemon are there to guard something and protect the land, which is something that Pokemon Legends Arceus does.
Nobles.
It's fine. Okay.
Nobles.
The noble Pokemon.
Like your cat.
So what if we kind of battle the noble Pokemon, and in the finale of it,
you have to battle your cat?
No,
that's
not my
terrible.
cat.
I don't want to fight your cat.
So what if it's like an ultimate form of synchronization? In the final battle, is you are playing as 100% Zygarde in the city, and you're like fighting some like giant monster. I don't think that's gonna happen, but that would be cool. And didn't that kind of happen in the anime?
I mean, that, to be fair, that is literally Ash Greninja.
No, well, I'm not thinking in an Ash Greninja way.
You mean like literally get inside and control like a mech?
No, I mean as in you're just playing as it. Not that there's any special synchronization, just the gameplay changes.
I don't think, in that case, I don't think that's happened in the anime.
Oh, no, I mean, I feel like Zygarde fought some, but it's not that important.
No, you meant Zygarde versus the Megalith.
Yeah, I just think it would be really cool if we got to play as like some sort of giant Pacific Rim Zygarde and fight off kaiju Pokemon. I know it's not going to happen. The final battle's probably just going to be some Pokemon battle, but I think that'd be really cool.
It's probably going to be like in the same vein of like Volo or like the Arceus or Giratina kind of beat.
It was the Dialga Palkia was technically the final battle.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think this would be cool. I know it's not going to happen, but all right. I guess
next.
Yeah.
Okay.
This should be yours too, then.
There's nothing there though. Oh yeah. Facing the needs of many. This is like I think third to last episode of the X and Y anime. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna read this out. In the third to last episode of the Pokemon XYZ series, Greninja leaves Ash to assist Zygarde. Zygarde states, the vines that reappeared, their roots have buried themselves deep into the ground, and they emerge by absorbing negative energy. What we destroyed was merely on the surface. The scars from the incident that nearly destroyed the world are deep. The two of us are destroying the roots that are scattered throughout Kalos one by one. However, it's difficult for even me to pinpoint their exact locations. Yet Greninja, it seems that somehow you are able to locate them.
What for him, man?
What that makes me think is like, what if, I guess, kind of eliminate Greninja out of the picture? Or maybe
keep him.
Maybe we keep Greninja in the picture. See, this is why I've been so on board with like the starters having Battle Bond. Is because you get that and they're able to see like the roots, and maybe that's like a threat throughout the game, especially since this is more Zygarde related. And to be fair, this is like literally the only other thing we have to base Zygarde off of at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you could base it off of, for some reason, he was in a cave in Alola, but
That's a good point. I don't think that's too much of a lore standpoint, but that is really weird.
I like to think canonically Zygarde was just taking a vacation or something.
Just like, I want to go Hawaii.
Hawaii would be a good trip. I got like a coupon and stuff. That'd be good.
Yeah.
This brat just caught me. What the heck?
Dude, your Veltal's a cocoon right now. What am I gonna do?
What am I gonna do? Yeah, I mean, the enemies could definitely be vines. I think at the moment, we don't know what the enemy is, mainly because we know nothing about the game.
We know nothing. We're in speculation zone.
Yeah. The first few slides we did, that, like, I kind of covered, are, like, the only, like, pretty much factual things.
Yeah. Those are the only things that we... Yeah, I don't even think all of that is things we know for sure. I think it's just, like, the majority of it.
Yeah, it's just, we're almost right on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, go on. If you...
oh, there's a blank slide. Oh, yeah, the megalith. So, in the anime, this is the thing that created all the vines that I was talking about, like the vines that like go up above the ground. It's like, I'm gonna fucking kill all you. And first up, in the anime, the megalith fused with Marin's chestpin to be activated. But when chestpin was removed, the megalith stopped moving, but then was reactivated, but using some sort of remote control, showing that its life comes from Zygarde's energy. Why? Because I forgot to put that there, and I'm pretty sure it's in the next one. It's not. Okay. Wait, actually, no, that's important. The megalith was completely destroyed by Zygarde 100% form. And just friendly reminder, Zygarde fucking kills Lysander. He's fucking dead. He gets pulverized by a beam. Yeah. Lysander is dead. That is the first, like, brutal death we've seen in the Pokemon anime.
Yeah. Kind of goes hard, though.
It does go hard. And the megalith was trying to...
wait.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I just... Remember when Ash died?
Okay, but he came back to life.
He did, because Pikachu cried.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, that happened twice.
Alright, sorry.
And, the megalith was trying to move towards the Anastar City sundial, and once they collided, it would release enough energy to, quote, destroy the world. And that destroy the world literally means the world would fucking explode.
I mean, you know, good for it, I guess.
Okay.
Just trying.
Okay. And okay, this is an important part which explains the Zygarde energy. In the 4th Mega Evolution special episode, Marin and her chestpin follows Elaine to the Lysander labs. And while Marin goes elsewhere, probably with Elaine, I don't exactly remember it, Chespin follows 2 Team Flare members into a room where a Zygarde 1% form is being experimented on. And when cranking the Zygarde's energy to the max, the energy, like, emits from Zygarde. It's just like, the energy's going everywhere. And then Chespin gets caught in the crossfire of it and takes some of Zygarde's energy in and falls into a coma, because it wasn't able to handle that power. And then I forgot to put the rest down here, but Marin is just like, oh shit, my chestpin. And then goes to Lysander's just like, hey, can you make my chestpin better again? And he's like, of course I will. And then puts chestpin into this rock. And that's what's fueling it.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wanted to mention that because, again, this is like the only shit we know about Zygarde is that this happens, and this is something that in the show, in the game, it goes unexplained.
Something I just thought of that's kind of funny about the anime is 2 things. One, they specifically chose each of the starters, Ash, Serena, and Clement had, to only go to the states where they were like the coolest looking. In that case, Greninja, Braixen, and Chespin.
I thought Delphox was the coolest, but I think just generally, yeah.
On a different thing, I was listening to the theme song for X and Y the other day, because, you know, I'm pretty hyped about
Which
this.
one?
And that's the first one. It's basically just a remaster of the original theme. And so in it, I kind of quote, there's no better team. So I want to specify, Ash lost that championship and then had 2 different teams that won him championships. So I just want to say there are 2 better teams. That's
a good point, actually. There were better teams.
2 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, there were 2 better teams. I think there were many better teams.
So
his team saved the world, though.
Also, just from like a game, perspective of more focusing on the games, Ash is like, what is it like? A lot of the types he has on his team are really clashing with each other and just repeat a lot. So there's not a lot of diversity. In
Gen 6, he had like 4 flying types.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he did. My man was really into Greninja using Cut.
That was weird. Why would Greninja be using Cut?
Okay, you know what'd be cool though is if they did a brand new version. Since Water Shuriken is no longer exclusive to Greninja, what if they made a new version of Cut and made it like Greninja exclusive? And instead of just being a generic blade, what if it was shaped like a kunai?
Oh, like Slash, which is also a move. Night Slash, that's also a move.
Yeah, let's just move on.
Forward Slash. What did you just stare at? It looks like you just saw the ghost of like
John Cena.
Yeah, because you can't see him.
Yeah, you can't see him.
How did I see him? Yeah, next slide.
This looks to also be a U thing.
Yes. So this is the map of Lumio City in the X and Y guidebook, and this is the map in Legend ZA. And
pause real quick. I'm sorry. Are you able to zoom in on the top left of the new map?
I can't zoom in, but
okay, you can't zoom in, but you see that section specifically drawn different, so that's probably where the water with Gyarados is.
That looked a lot closer to. I think maybe here, but
no,
not
I mean,
here.
That's kind of that line though. I think the other lines kind of.
It could be like terrain.
But that one looks okay. So go on with your thing. I just thought that was kind of interesting.
So first off, the scale for Lumios is so much bigger. And just example, this is Trevor's house right here, which takes up like a lot. And then relatively, it's not even that circle. It would be even smaller than that. Would be Trevor's house compared to the rest of the complex. I
can assume.
I would like to bring that up because that feels very important.
I think obviously this probably isn't the exact 1-to-1 map from the game.
Yeah.
But it's probably very close. And in that aspect, I do want to say, on another thing, I expect the city to be the size of Scarlet and Violet's like main area, if not maybe a bit smaller, and then has like special biomes, which I have a slide for later.
Like levels.
Yeah, it could have levels. It could just be.
A bunch of fast travel.
I think it's going to be a huge thing, which is another reason why I think people are worried about it being all in one city, is because all the Pokemon cities, like Mesagosa is tiny.
Yeah.
So people are like, oh my gosh, is it just going to be like that? No, it's probably...
That's like a mall complex.
Yeah, actually. And you know what's really good about that? This is MallTalk.
Exactly. I was going to say that, but you took it from me, and honestly, that's fine. I don't care.
Okay. You go on. So I just thought about that.
My toe.
Oh, didn't you have something earlier about... Oh, no, you're going to cover it, actually. I didn't see that you had a picture for it. Go on.
So this is just for the border of Lumio. I just always, since every time I watch this trailer, it's like, it's weird how this looks. And what makes me think it looks protective. It looks layered. And I don't exactly stand by like it looks like they came out of a war, but it does definitely look like they took damage. Like something happened. Okay, no, this isn't what I thought. I just looked at the top. It was like, is that a fucking train? Is this just a train going around the entirety of Lumios? That would be so funny, but it's not.
Okay, actually, I am thinking, in reality, whatever that wall is, it's probably just the you can't go past this point wall.
Like,
you know how in Legends it kind of
world barrier.
Yeah, like how in Legends it started getting foggier and
Yeah,
foggier.
like fog barriers. Yeah.
In this case, you probably just can't go past that wall. Um, who knows what the wall is for, but gameplay-wise, I feel like it's pretty obvious what the wall is for.
Yeah, just keeping you out.
Yeah, or in.
Just to show up how fucked up, like I mean, we literally just talked about this. The size of a city in Pokemon is like a mall complex. This is also, I did time this. This area, like in real life, how long approximately would you have to walk down this? Like what? Like
If I had to guess, probably like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe 10.
like 5 minutes. And
10 if you're like walking slowly with a friend.
And I timed this on my 3DS. To get from here to here is 10 seconds.
Yeah,
I
mean,
feel like that's just, I kind of just have to put that out there.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And also, this isn't in the anime, this is in the game. This is a cutscene in the game.
Oh, wow. Good for them, I guess.
I forgot how much this contrasts with like all the animations and stuff. All of this. And it goes to pink.
Okay,
pink.
I was just thinking, looking at it, it probably means nothing, and it's just a nice color contrast, but it could be they made the Pokemon pink, because Diancie maybe has a bigger part in this.
Oh, wait, I just thought of something. How, like, maybe there's, like, a new material we use, and Diancie is, like, used to, like... Because I remember in one of the anime movies, it's like, oh, Diancie, we're gonna use you. Hey, make diamonds for us. Then they make the diamonds, and then they scurry off, and then they give.
You start like ripping pieces off of Diancie and using them as megastones or something.
That's not what I was thinking. Using that for like infrastructure.
Oh, mine was much. Honestly, both were morbid, actually.
No. Mine was not, because Diancie literally builds it. It's not her body.
Oh, okay.
You're thinking like take off her limbs and use it for the bond of Pokemon by killing other Pokemon.
Yeah. All right, I guess we should move on from.
Yeah, let's move on. Oh, it's a blank
this
slide.
Is never you, I guess.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Hold on, we gotta go. Yeah, this is your slide.
Oh, technically, you put that there, so we can. So.
I just want to make sure you saw that.
So I don't know where you found this. I assume on Twitter or something.
Yeah, this was on Twitter.
So this is actually, first off, obviously it's not confirmed.
Yeah.
But it's very likely, in my opinion, because Game Freak does stuff like this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like where it's just subtle things. Like BDSP randomly had scarlet and violet colored flowers put into the map. Like. Or going back, actually, there's a picture of Gigantamax Toxtricity in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
Yes. They do this in a lot of the games, just like foreshadowing something in the next.
The idea that they foreshadowed the next starters with a trailer, in my opinion, is not even remotely out there.
Yeah.
I will say, Piplup and Snivy feel like 100% guaranteed.
I'm also kind of
French.
I agree with that. I don't exactly agree with Torchic.
That's kind of my thing of, I think Torchic could easily become Scorbunny or something.
I think Scorbunny or even like Charmander.
Litten.
No, not Charmander.
No,
Litten.
not
Yes, Litten.
I think Litten. I think Torchic is probably likely too.
Yeah.
But I think like Piplup makes sense because it's literally Napoleon. Snivy is very French. I actually think the Ken Sugimura was like, yeah, when I was designing him, I based it off of this manga that was some sort of French-themed manga. So, I forget what it is. So.
Snake manga.
So, he is...
Grass snake manga.
Snivy's very French, too.
Yeah. They do look like they'd say it haunt.
I will say, I could see Torchic being it, just because Torchic, like, Blaziken did have a special part in... Kalos, I feel like, at least with the anime and stuff.
With the anime, yeah.
You just kind of and also he was the first mega of those three. So they could easily do a new regional there. Yeah, he was. Mega Blaziken, I think Mega Blaziken was in X and Y, if I remember right.
You mean with the Gen 3 start. I thought you meant among these guys. I was like, these guys do not have megas.
So, and also I think they're getting regional variants personally, but we'll see. What do you think?
I actually, it's like not exactly a change of pace, but I 100% agree with this. I think it's almost it's going to be exactly this. It's going to be Piplup, Snivy, and Litten. It's 4, 5, 7, and this
I don't
one
know why
was
you
like.
said Litten.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, as in you think Litten? Because you don't agree with this, then, because that's Gen 3.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with this. I meant with what you were claiming.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of people brought up Scorbunny would work pretty well, because, of course, French is Europe, too, and Scorbunny's obviously a soccer player. So, that could work. I would prefer Incineroar or Litten, but that's because my first game was Ultra Sun, and Litten was my first starter, so I do have a bias.
That's fair.
So, but I also, if they don't want to do regional forms, I don't think it'll be Torchic. I think it will be like Litten or Scorbunny. I would prefer Litten because Cinderace already has a Gigantamax.
Right.
So, but it doesn't matter that much. We'll find out in 8 years, 3,000 years is what it is.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Right? They're just like, oh shoot, we dropped the wrong trailer.
No, they're just like, oh god, these guys dropped a podcast. We gotta make a new trailer.
We should be at Pokemon with this and like, come on guys, what do you think?
Come on, give us something new.
Game Freak delays the game like 2 more years to completely rework it to what we think. That would go hard. Oh, okay. So this is from
Power of Us,
I think.
Yeah, I think this is Power of Us.
Because actually, Viz posted this the same day that the trailer came out on Pokemon Day, which could easily just be they thought the clip was cool and it's Pokemon Day. But I think we've already seen through this movie exactly how catching and battling is going to work in this game. And we battle in the overworld in the city, which we already saw in the teaser, and we catch in the overworld, which we kind of also did see in the teaser too.
Yeah.
So he wasn't successful at catching Dratini, but he tried.
What I'm thinking is it's literally just going to be like Legends Arceus, but in a city.
That is what I'm thinking. I really think the reason people are like confused or might have a problem with it being in the city is just because we've never had something like this with Pokemon before.
We've never seen a city to the scale of a city.
Yeah, we've never seen one that's actually a city. So I think this will probably be what we get, but of course, wait and see. I actually think I have another slide on what we could also get, or maybe in addition to this.
Okay, so yeah, let's do that.
There we are. So kind of like...
This is New York.
This is New York. I know I didn't use Paris. I just wanted to use an example.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking maybe midi wild areas or biomes, like with Blueberry Academy, is another possibility, because you could just make parks in like Kalos and Lumios and just be like, oh, well, they're hanging out there. I think it's more likely they just have a bunch of Pokemon just hanging out in the wild. I think that's just probably going to be more likely in the city. But
yeah.
Or maybe that the city is more integrated than we're seeing. So maybe like it's like a bunch of grass patches within the city just to kind of be more Pokemon friendly. Although it would go hard if you just like looked up at a building and there's a good, you know how there are goats that can just kind of like go vertical? If there's just like a Go-Goat that was just like vertical on like Lumio's tower, that would go hard.
Spider-Man goat. That better be in the next Spider-Verse movie. If it's not, I'm gonna flip my lid.
Alright, you have anything like what do you think is more likely?
I don't think it's gonna be. I still kind of think this is less of what's probably gonna happen and more so what I really want. What I want it to be is that it's literally just a blank area, and there are places we have to go to get resources and build and rebuild the city, which is not going to happen.
I more think like, as in like, what do you think for catching and battling?
for catching and battling, I guess it does kind of go with like this. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like literally exactly.
Which I do want to say, I know like why people, and even me to an extent, would be like kind of like unnerved by the idea of no like grass or anything for them
for
to
sure.
be in. I get it, but I think Legends' whole format is doing things that we'd never see in another Pokemon game, and I think this is a really cool idea that would be cool to expand on. Like actually seeing an urban Pokemon, because we have to see that in real life, of course, where you see like a ton of rats and birds in cities, or stray cats.
Okay. No, finish your thought.
I mean, we're not catching them, but I mean, I could start throwing balls at rats, I guess, but you know, that wouldn't go well for me, I guess.
Okay, so that was a part of what I was gonna say. Is I'm not gonna go to some rat on the street and be like, "You're gonna be my friend now. We're having soft tacos
Yeah.
later." Like that's not.
But if it's like,
what
what
I
if it's a
would.
yellow rat?
I would think, "Oh shit, that's diseased. I will not go near that rat."
Yeah, we
And
would probably
also,
start with again.
all I'm saying, when in the world would you be in in New York City and see a fucking ground dragon like flying all over the place?
Well, this is Pokemon, so we can.
Yeah, exactly.
Is,
So like,
also, hey, real quick, this is France, not New York.
true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
We just is this the end?
Megas.
Megas! And that is
it. Thank you all for watching episode 2 of the MallTalk podcast. I'm your host, Kush. This was my co-host, Hunter. Our other co-host couldn't be here. They're probably going to be here in another episode later. And that's the rest of the show. Bye-bye.